going on, everybody? Happy Sunday to you, Ravens fans. On today's episode, it's going to be a real fun one because I am reacting to ESPN Plus's latest two-round mock draft. Now, I don't know if you've seen this yet, and if you haven't, it's probably because you don't have ESPN Plus. And that reason is probably because it's very expensive, $120 a year. Well, that alone should be the sole reason why you hit that subscribe button to the Ravens Rundown, because we give you this kind of coverage for $0 a year. There's a $120 a year difference between ESPN Plus, Ravens Rundown, so that's why you got to hit us up right now. Subscribe, join us today, free videos every single day on your favorite team in purple and gold. Lock us in right now by hitting that sub button. Let's start with the beginning of this mock draft. Some interesting picks. Shedeur Sanders going to the New York Giants at number 3 overall. Jalen Walker going pretty high at number 8. Shamar Stewart as well to the New Orleans Saints. Then you look at 10 through 12. Teneroa McMillan is gone to the Dallas Cowboys. Kelvin Banks Jr. is gone at number 16 to the Arizona Cardinals. And then Malachi Starks gone at number 19 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A couple of other interesting notes. Mike Green, a guy we looked at a decent bit, is gone to the Atlanta Falcons. Gray Zabel is gone to the Cincinnati Bengals. And then also Matthew Golden, a wide receiver that we talked about possibly being able to fall down to the Baltimore Ravens. He goes to the Seattle Seahawks. Let's get a little bit close to the Ravens pick, though, shall we? Let's go 21 through 24. Jackson Dart, you are a loser because you are now a Pittsburgh Steelers. Colston Loveland goes to Jim Harbaugh. Michael Williams goes to the Green Bay Packers. Jahdae Barron, so sad to see you go to the Minnesota Vikings. 25 and 26, Donovan Jackson and Maxwell Hairston. They're off the board. And real quick, before I reveal the Baltimore Ravens selection, you do me a favor and get down in the comments section and tell me who you would draft in this exact scenario. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break when that time comes. Don't worry about it. Just think about the board we just showed you. Put your Eric DeCosta hat on right now and comment who you would draft. James Pearce Jr. is the selection, the edge rusher out of Tennessee, my fellow alumni of the University of Tennessee. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm really excited about this pick. If you've been watching this channel for the last couple of months, last couple of weeks, James Pearce Jr. is a guy I've talked a ton about. And if he falls to Baltimore 27, I'm going to be one happy camper. Let's hear what Field Yates had to say about it. With the Ravens looking for more pass rush juice, Pearce's weight ends here. He entered this past season as a potential top 10 pick and has some of the most effortless movement skills of any pass rusher in this class. He ran a 4.47 second 40 and can really bend the edge too. But his lack of consistency last season resulted in a stock drop. The Ravens could capitalize by landing Pearce and his considerable upside late in the first round. And like I said off the top, guys, I have been talking about Pearce all offseason long, and it's because of what he brings with the mix of his size and the mix of his athleticism. 6'5". And he also ran a 4.47 40. 245 pounds. He's a little bit lean, but like at this point, I don't really care. I just want to get him on this team, want to get him out there on the field. Let's talk scouting report for just a little bit. The burst that he has off the snap makes his life a lot easier as a pass rusher. The fact that he's able to get off a snap so quickly, he doesn't have to have as many pass rush moves as other pass rushers because he's so dang fast, he's usually already beaten the tackle. He had a 21.4 pressure rate in 2024, a 21.1 quarterback pressure rate in 2023. So my grade, late first, early second, goes exactly where I need him to be, right to the Baltimore Ravens. Let's talk a little bit more about that pressure rate. Because when you compare it to the top 2 edge rushers for the Baltimore Ravens last season, it blows them out of the water. Now I get it. This isn't going to translate directly to the National Football League. Going up against offensive linemen in college, even if they are SEC offensive linemen at that, is much harder than doing what Kyle Van Noy and Odafe Owe were doing. However, having a pressure rate of 21.4% is absolutely out of this world. That's exactly where this team needs to get better, at a down-to-down pass rush situation. Let's talk about the good. He's a fantastic athlete. And like I said in the scouting report, his burst is incredibly impressive and helps him a ton when getting to the passer. He does flash his speed a lot, but also has a great power ability and has a bull rush that I think is incredibly underrated. And he was much better against the run this year. Improved a ton from 2023 to 2024. Let's talk about the bad, though. He does have a little bit of a thin frame. For his size at 6'5", you'd like to have a little bit more meat on the bone, and he just doesn't have that. He didn't have a ton of snaps, not a ton of production, which I guess you could look at as a positive. You know, he's not a guy who's had a lot on his tires worn, but he did have 300 fewer snaps than Abdul Carter, who's going to be the first edge rusher off the board. And he does apparently have some off-field concerns, which we've talked about a good bit on this channel. However, I'm not really worried about his character. And I'm not really worried about it for multiple reasons. Number one, I know a ton of people in that Tennessee program. I've talked to a ton of people in that Tennessee program that I worked with, used to be really good friends with when I was in college. And they've only had great things to say about James Pearce Jr. And the second part of that is, I know it might be a little bit selfish, but he knew going into this year he was going to be a first-round draft pick. And I know we want those guys to be more team guys, but also it's hard to imagine being in his shoes and not having the same feelings of, okay, I just want to get to the NFL. I just want to get to that next level. Well, he's at that next level now, and I don't expect those character concerns to just totally fade away. I'm just saying I'm not incredibly worried about them. But I want to know where you guys stand, though. Okay, you've heard my opinion. Now it's time for me to hear yours. Are you concerned about Pearce's character rumors? Because that's all they are at this point. They are rumors. We don't know the truth about them. If you are, let me know by saying yes in the comment section down below. And if you're not, go ahead and give me a no. Coming up, we have the second-round selection who Field Yates has falling to the Baltimore Ravens at pick number 59 in round number 2. But before we get into that, make sure you guys get into this. It is the newest Ravens draft hat officially licensed. You're going to see all the draft picks wearing these in just a couple of weeks, and they're absolutely sweet, okay? You can get it in black. You can get it in off-white. You got that little crab emblem on it. That can come with it, or you can get it without. You can also get it the more traditional ball cap style, right? A little bit more of a curved bill, a little bit more of a regular kind of ball cap look to it. You can get that one in white as well. There's so many different options to choose from. You can get fitted. You can get adjustable. You can get whatever you like. Just make sure you get it fast, okay? Because these are going to be flying off the shelves the closer it gets to the NFL draft, and you want to make sure you've got one locked down. So chatsports.com/Ravens Draft Hat is where you need to go. The link to this promo is in the comments, and it's in the description of today's video. Let's talk about the second-round pick. That is Mr. Xavier Watts, the strong safety out of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, almost a national champion this past year. Came up just a little bit short. Let's hear what Field Yates had to say about the safety. Watts is a ball magnet on the back end, as he led the FBS with 13 interceptions over the past 2 seasons. If Baltimore wants to take the next step, it has to shore up the pass defense. Putting Watts alongside Kyle Hamilton is a good step in that direction, and I really could not agree more. One of the things I love most about Xavier Watts is he was named a team captain in 2024 going into that season. I love getting those kind of guys on a team, especially when it's a team captain for a school like Notre Dame with a leader of a head coach like Marcus Freeman. And I absolutely love this selection. Everything that Xavier Watts is as a coverage safety is everything that this team needs. Every single thing, okay? I love Kyle Hamilton. I love Ardarius Washington. But I'd feel a whole lot better on 3rd and long with Xavier Watts back there instead of AD, or AW, as I should say. And still, at the time of this recording, he's still a restricted free agent. And so Lord knows what's going to happen with that situation. And so you look at Xavier Watts and you see him as a guy who can 100% fit in this room, as a guy who can 100% fit in with this group. Okay? Again, Kyle Hamilton, I've got no problems with. Ardarius Washington, I've got no problems with. It's the depth in that room that I'm kind of having a little bit of problems with. I think Bo Braid, Sanusi Kane, those guys can be really great players in this league. But I think Xavier Watts could be a starter in year 1. Let's talk about the good, alrighty? His ball skills are immaculate. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that he came into college as a wide receiver. He's only allowed 1 touchdown in his career, and it was in 2022, and he absolutely flies around the field. He's got pretty great speed. He will miss some tackles, however, if we're going to get to the bad parts of his game. A 12.6% 13 missed tackles, 12.6% missed tackle rate. He's not as Swiss Army-ish, if that's a word, as Kyle Hamilton is. Kyle Hamilton's a guy you could put all over the field. That's not the same with Xavier Watts. Not sure if he can hang a man coverage from the nickel. And then also will sometimes play too fast and get himself out of position. The key thing with Xavier Watts is to not overthink it. I think a lot of times when it comes to the NFL draft, we as analysts, we as fans, tend to look at players, look at how they tested, and kind of throw out everything that they did in college. Xavier Watts went a 4.56 40. Nothing crazy, nothing incredible. And I think a lot of people are going to overanalyze, overlook at that, and just look at the athletic traits and say, this isn't going to translate. Well, it translated in college when he absolutely dominated for 3 straight seasons. I think it's going to translate into the NFL. He's an absolute baller. This is a pick you don't want to think too much about. You just want to go out and make. Red pin time. Get them out for me, okay? Grade this mock draft A, B, C, D, or F. Get down in the comment section and let me know your answer. Mine coming up right now because I think this one's an absolute A. And I don't know if you guys can read. I can. That's 5 pluses after the A. I absolutely love this one. I will be freaking out if after the second round, this is what the first 2-round haul looks like for the Baltimore Ravens. This one, I mean, I literally couldn't have done it better myself. I've made a ton of mock drafts after the offseason. I don't think I've had a 2-round stretch in round 1 and round 2 quite like this one. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button before you head on out of here. Join us right now. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. Need your guys' help. So do me one big favor.